All right, I'm going to be assembling this Dexley union and scale chair I got from Staples. It comes in black and blue, and I was searching all around the store to find the black one. I didn't realize the chair was always black, but this little blue stripe, as you see here on the very top end, and that's how you can find out if the chair is blue or black in the store, or it's here on the right side. That blue is how you can find out if the chair is blue or black, not just the chair. So when I opened the package, this is what I saw, and I opened up all the parts. It was not that difficult to assemble. I saw that in store they said it would be $20 for the assembly. So I wanted to see how long it would take me to assemble, and I was wanting to see if it was a good buy. So I'm going to quickly show you how long it took me. Overall, the whole chair took me about 20 minutes to assemble. I had a little problem at the very end with the headrest, which we'll talk about in a second. But the easy thing about it is the instructions were very easy to follow. I believe it was 6 steps. And the best part is all of the screws were nicely sorted in that little long envelope of screws, and it shows you which step and how many screws. So that made the entire process very easy. They even gave you an Allen wrench, which is all you needed to do this. Well, that and a pair of scissors to open up the bag. The big thing is not to open up the entire bag all at once. Open it as you do the parts. So as you see, these are the 5-starred legs. And I just took the wheels and they just popped right in. That was very, very simple and very, very easy. And so that was a great way to start. So as I was assembling this, I was kind of worried about what kind of problems or if this was worth $20. But it was very, very simple to assemble, and I've never done that. That was the like the hydraulic lift. It was the heaviest part of the bottom of the chair, and that would just slid right in. There's my first Allen wrench. And as you can see by my left knee, there's this like package of like 5 or 6 different screws. And it's really nice. Each one says which step and how many screws are in there. And that was the key to assembling this very, very quickly. As long as you don't open up all of the screws and put them in a big pile in one set, the whole chair will only take you about 20 minutes to assemble. This was the base here. The hardest part about the base was just orienting it. The handles, they even had a little sticker that said L and R on them, and that made it very easy to understand which one was the left and which one was the right. But the thing I noticed after a few seconds is you cannot assemble it incorrectly because the holes of the screws do not line up if you try to invert them and put the left one on the right side. So just holding the chair up like this, you're able to get it. It was 3 screws, and you just kind of flip it around, and then you open up the first packet, as you can see there, and it'll have the screws. They even color-coded them, so you know that all 3 screws are there. When you just have to line them up, and then once you tighten it by hand, that was the big trick there. Most of the time of assembling this chair was actually tightening the screws on the Allen wrench. If you have a drill with that particular bit in there, it could go a little faster, but I don't think you need it. Once again, it comes with the Allen wrench and it gives you a better fit to go a little bit slower. So I would recommend using that Allen wrench. And as you can see, most of this video is just me tightening screws. It was 6 steps, so it wasn't that hard at all. It was a little intimidating and I was a little worried about it. But once you get into the rhythm, it was actually a pretty simple process. So I was kind of wondering if this was worth $20. I mean, it all depends on a little bit of your luck, how much room and space you have, how many chairs you're assembling, and of course, just the dexterity you have with the Allen wrench. That was the hardest part. Was it worth $20 for about 20 minutes worth of work? That's something that you're just going to have to decide. But the instructions were so easy to follow. Here I am, I'm already on the second arm of the chair. And so it was the same as the other side. And so it doesn't matter if you assemble the left or the right first. And once again, I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out which was the left and which was right. And I overlooked the fact that the bag had an L and R on it. And on the arm, it is even engraved in there. So once you look at the bottom of the chair, you can see which one the left and the right goes. And so that was like the first obstacle I had, but it was a pretty simple one to overcome. This Dexley chair is a really comfortable chair. I'm going to show you a picture at the end of it. I'm quite happy with it. It was advertised for $300, but I got it technically on sale for $180. I looked around and I found it between $150 and $180 online. I got it at Staples, so I'm not really sure if the price will ever go up or down, but it's about $150, and right now it is February 2023, so that's the price of this chair. This is the controls on the bottom. It's a very heavy piece, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a little arm that sticks out, and that's how you're going to control the lever to the hydraulic lift to raise the chair up and to lower it. And there's also a setting where you can lift it forward or backward, which allows the chair to tilt or not. And that's a setting that if you like to have it, it'll be done there. This was incredibly easy. It was just four screws that popped right in, and it was quite obvious which the holes were. So this one was quite easy to install, and I think you might even be able to flip it upside down if you really wanted the control to be on the left side, because it was just a four square. But most chairs traditionally have it on the right side, so that's what I did as well too. And once again, the biggest part of this time was just the Allen wrench and the screws, but it was not difficult to tighten them at all. And so once that base was in there, I got to this is the backrest, very well packaged, and as you can see, little tubes there. This was where the comfort level was. It took me a few moments to realize that it slid into the chair. I thought it was just going to be lined up with the screws, but it actually slides in there. So if you flip the chair upside down, that'll be the easiest way. Those are the screws. Once again, just going down that packet and looking at the next step and which screw it is. They're clearly labeled. And so that was what made this entire process so easy. Putting this together with that little packet of screws was the greatest thing. And so I just kind of put it on its side here, a little out of frame, sorry about that. But as you see, it just slides right on in, and then you just line up the screw holes and you can tighten it in there. So that was a very easy setup there too. One of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because my previous chair, I struggled a lot with how to put it together. It wasn't that hard, but I wish I had a video to know that if it was creaking or where the screws went. So this is kind of like it will help me if I ever have to repair the chair or such. I will have a video. And I was also looking for a couple of videos online of how to put this chair together. So I thought I'd just make one really quickly to see what difficulties I had and such. But there's that Allen wrench. It is the only tool you really need besides a pair of scissors to open up the bag. And then there's the base there, and it slides right on top and it clicks right in. And so there wasn't anything I had to do. As you can see, the hydraulic lift is already working. And so now I'm just looking at it. Now this is where I ran into my only problem with assembling the chair, was the headrest. It's a little out of frame right here. The headrest right there has just two screws. And it goes on the bottom and it goes vertically right into the slot at the top of the back. Designed very well, and it could just go right on in. But the reason why I had a little bit of problem and I struggled the last 2 minutes was because the hole wasn't cleared. Like the manufacturing screw bit there's a little piece of plastic that was still in there, and I didn't realize it. So as you can see, I'm struggling to get the screw in there, and it just didn't line up perfectly. So I thought it was lining up, and I was spinning it, but it wasn't actually all the way through. And so this was what I struggled with for, well, I would say about 5 minutes in real time. Right now, the video is 4 times as fast. So it only looks like it was 2 minutes. So I struggled for about 8 to 10 minutes on this thing. And I even went and got a flashlight, and I was trying to look at it to find out what was wrong, because it seemed to, I was following the instructions. But the thing that I did not realize is right there, you can put the screws in and it will line up with the hole. What I would suggest you doing is taking the screw without the headrest and making sure it can go into the base on the back. Had I done that earlier, I would have realized there was a little piece of plastic that wasn't perfectly cut, and that was keeping the screw from going in there too easily. And that was the only struggle I had. So when you get your chair, you might be able to do this part in about 30 seconds, but me, it took me 20 minutes because I didn't realize that the hole wasn't cleared and wasn't cut correctly. So I had to take a little bit of I think a scissor or an X-Acto knife, and I just cut away that little piece of plastic that was keeping the screw from going all the way in. And that was the only struggle I had with this chair. And the headrest is optional. Some people don't like headrests, but I really did like it, and it was one of the pieces that I wanted. And so that's what I did there. And as you can see, I'm just continuing to struggle. Couldn't figure out what was going on, what was wrong. Tried pushing it in with my thumb, and it was just about getting it lined up. I've seen a couple of other chairs that are just perfectly lined up, and it took 1 second to put that screw in there. But I did struggle with that. And so if you're struggling with it, check the port where the screw actually goes in. I think I'm going downstairs. Yeah, I'm getting a flashlight here to look at it, and that's when I noticed that there was a little piece of plastic that wasn't perfectly cut. And so I had to go get a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife, or even just kind of grab it and rip out that little piece of plastic that wasn't cut so that the screw would fit in. This is what I would recommend right here, is where you take the screw and you put it into the hole to see if it actually fits. And once you do that, you'll realize it's perfectly fit, and then your screw can go into it. And so that was my big struggle. That was a personal struggle. I don't think the chairs manufacturer will, or the majority of the chairs will have this issue. I think it was just this one particular chair, the plastic wasn't cut. And so here, I figured it out on my own. This is the final chair. And there's that headrest over there, and it tilts automatically. Like there's no adjustments needed. You just lean back and the chair will swing as you need. A couple other features that I really liked here was the backrest. It was in the up highest position, but all you have to do is push it down as you can see, or you can pull it up. There's no real lever that you need there, and then it's just about a personal comfort of what you like. Then the handles, there's one reason, of the reasons why I got this chair was each individual chair has a height adjustment. It's not just like a gaming chair where it can be lifted up. This one can actually be adjusted up or down, considering where your height is and where your desk is. I'm about 5'7", 5'8", and 190 pounds, and this chair is great. And so my feet can touch the ground, and the wheels are wonderful, and it fits on my desk perfectly. So I'm really happy. There's that lever, the hydraulic lever, and then of course you can slide it in or out to lock the tilt position. So these are the nice little features of this chair. A really great chair. This is the Dexley Union and Scale from Staples, and it took me about 20 minutes to assemble. Thank you, and have a good day.